Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. Well, founded in 1928 as the Future Farmers of America, the FFA changed its name some 60 years later to just the FFA to reflect that members in the country's largest youth organizations, their interests, well, they also encompass science, business, and natural resources. But it is the business of food and fiber that today remains one of the FFA's strengths, creating a new generation of farmers and ranchers that we will all depend upon. Our Andy Barth introduces us to farming's future.
I got started when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I'd always go riding the tractor with my dad, and when I was younger than that, he'd always sit the car seat in the tractor. I'd ride right there alongside him all day long.
Agriculture is in their blood.
I'm the 5th generation in my family. My family has farmed and ranched in the Colony, southwest Oklahoma area for over 100 years.
And for these young producers, it is their way of life.
We're a diversified farming operation, crops and livestock, crops mainly being wheat, canola, double crop soybeans, corn, milo, and alfalfa. And then we run a cow-calf operation as well as develop heifers, northern heifers, and sell them as breeder replacements.
Travis Schneithman and his brother Tyler are the 5th generation in their family to farm in Garber, Oklahoma, a legacy deeply rooted in FFA.
In FFA, my involvement began in 8th grade and really kind of started out very small. Started out with actually 7 acres of wheat, and that kind of developed a passion in me, and from there I was able to expand my operation over the years. FFA taught me a lot. Taught me a lot about responsibility, confidence, being able to stand up in front of a group of people.
First of all, we feel fortunate that we had the opportunity to be involved in FFA and agriculture education. It's really done a lot as far as discipline, record keeping that we use every day on the farm.
A sentiment shared by Clayton Mack, who farms with his family down the road in Drummond.
If I didn't have the FFA, I wouldn't be standing here today, having as much success as what I do today.
A success that took him to the top.
And the winner is Clayton Mack, Oklahoma.
Mack was named the 2014 national winner for his fiber and oil crop production. Yet he says his real accomplishment happens every day on the farm.
I go from working cattle to checking cattle to getting to run combines, getting to run the tractors. I mean, I get to do everything under the sun that a lot of people wish they could do, and I get to do it every day in my backyard.
No matter how big a backyard can be, Zach Weichel of Colony, Oklahoma was named the 2014 American Star Farmer.
Zach Weichel from Oklahoma.
The highest honor an FFA member can receive. An honor made possible by those before him.
I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been on that stage if it hadn't been for the generations before me. My grandfather and my dad up there at the national level. Yeah, I was pretty happy for myself, but also, I wanted to. That made me feel good that I was able to show them that, yeah, I did make something out of the opportunity you gave me. Here, I'm giving it back to you. Here you go.
And the Schneithman brothers, they're star farmers too. Travis won the national honor back in 2008, and Tyler was named Oklahoma's Star Farmer in 2013, with plans to run for the national title in 2 years.
It's a great honor. There's a lot of people that went into making that happen. It just wasn't us.
I was more than excited, to receive the award, but at the same time, I felt like there, on stage really should have been several other people, that probably should have been standing there with me, or maybe even.
And while these 4 young producers are stars in their fields, they understand the uphill battle U.S. agriculture will face.
You lose a lot of jobs. I really think that agriculture is very important, and people that don't realize that, we need to help educate them on how important agriculture really is.
The United States Department of Agriculture predicts the world population will reach 9 billion by 2050, and producers like Weichel must be ready to feed that growing number of mouths.
Huge responsibility. 2050, we're going to have to produce double the amount too.
And while farming is rooted in tradition, Weichel says current trends can help farmers produce more.
Technology is not a bad thing. I think technology is a good thing. I mean, the world's not getting any bigger. We're about the same size with a lot more people.
And for the Schneithman brothers, farming together makes them better producers.
You know, I'll be the first to admit there are times we have our disagreements, but those are usually typically worked out in a fairly timely manner and usually pretty easily.
We use each other as a bouncing board, bounce ideas off each other, and it's been a great. We feel like we've been a great team. We get along really good for the most part. Where we sometimes struggle with is convincing Dad, you know, and a little bit older generations to adopt new technologies and why we should spend money on this and how it's going to benefit us. So a lot of times we feel like we team up against Dad, but he's great to work with too. We wouldn't be here farming if it wasn't for him.
U.S. farmers make up less than 1% of the country's population. A big responsibility, but one that Mac says is an honor to take on.
Knowing that I'm one of few that can actually produce food for our country and help our country out, and knowing that I can provide for myself if I have to, it really makes me feel good about myself and what I do.
And for Tyler, now is a great time to come back to the farm.
I feel like there's great opportunity in the farming industry. You know, with profit margins today, I feel like if an individual, you know, does a good job on the farm and keeps accurate records, there's definitely enough income available to support a family. And so, again, I feel like the demand for young individuals like myself returning to the farm is great. I feel like the average size of the American farm is growing, so farmers are able to farm more acres and thus hopefully generate more income. I feel like as a young producer and involved in agriculture, you know, at a pivotal point in my time, I couldn't be more excited to return to the farm.
4 young producers impacted by FFA, all working to feed a hungry world.
Well, FFA is an integral part of the Agricultural Education Division of the Oklahoma Career Tech System. With more than 27,000 members, the Oklahoma FFA Association is the 5th largest in the nation, whose mission is to make a positive difference in the lives of students by developing their potential for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agricultural education. And when we return, we will have a great example of exactly how that works.